What's up, guys? Welcome to Heroes Avenue. My name is Darren, and today we're going to be talking about Matt Reeves, the director of The Batman, because he recently went on Esquire and talked about how the Batman was transferred to him from Ben Affleck. So for those that need a little catch up and a little history lesson of this project of The Batman, Ben Affleck's Batman was supposed to star and directed by Ben Affleck himself. And it was supposed to explore Ben Affleck's Batman in Arkham City and fighting bad guys, and it also had Deathstroke in it, who was played by Joe Manganiello, and it was very exciting times, right? This is kind of like a little bit after Justice League came out, and all the fans were really excited about it, and then Ben Affleck didn't want to direct it anymore, and then Warner Brothers came out and tried to look for another director to direct his movie, and they found Matt Reeves. Matt Reeves, as you know, he took it upon himself to direct a different kind of Batman from Ben Affleck, and kind of strayed away from the DCU, and wanted to kind of do something of his own with Robert Pattinson's Batman, and that's where we are today. And Matt Reeves, he went on Esquire and did an interview and kind of talked more about it. And this is kind of something that none of us really heard from Matt Reeves. Like, I don't think he ever publicly talked about Ben Affleck's Batman yet. And so this is kind of our first time hearing from him. And so let's read his quote, and let's talk about it. When talking about Ben Affleck's script, he says, "I read a script that they had that was a totally valid take on the movie. It was a very action-driven. It was very deeply connected to the DCEU, with other major characters from other movies and other comics popping up. I just knew that when I read it, it was a particular script was not the way I'd want to do it. I said, look, I think maybe I'm not the right person for this, and I explained to them why I love this character. I told them that there have been so many great movies, but if I were to do this, I'd have to make it personal so that I understood what I was going to do with it, so that I know where to put my camera, so that I know what to tell the actors, so that I know what the story should be. This take," I told them, pointing at the script, "is a totally valid and exciting take. It is almost James Bondian, but it wasn't something that I quite related to." And for those that, you know, that were not really involved or wasn't really keeping up with the news during this time where the negotiations were happening with Matt Reeves and WB, there was a point where they announced Matt Reeves is going to be directing The Batman, and then the next day was Matt Reeves has left the project. Literally the same week or within 2 days, that was another announcement. And then he says, then another announcement was Matt Reeves has just joined back, and now he is staying, and he's going to direct The Batman, but with a different Batman character, not with Ben Affleck. And a lot of scoopers were saying that there was arguments with WB, and there's actual yelling with Matt Reeves and WB. And it was, I think Matt Reeves really had to fight for his vision. And I think it was, I have a feeling it was really hard for WB to let go of Ben Affleck's Batman because they really loved his character. But also, I think what really gave Matt Reeves more power was the failure of Justice League and how that was received with everyone, with the Joss Whedon cut, right? And also with Ben Affleck, probably he was telling the executives that he kind of wanted out at the same time, but he didn't want to direct anymore, but he still wanted to be Batman. And if Matt Reeves wasn't going to direct his Batman take, I think he was totally fine with that. And it's crazy. I think this was pretty cool of Matt Reeves kind of talking about this whole fiasco, and the whole back and forth with him and WB, because we never heard from him ever. And to hear that, you know, there was other characters involved, other major characters in the comic books, and from the DCU that were going to be in Ben Affleck's movie, sounds super exciting. I think one, we were supposed to get, Deathstroke in there, and there was also some rumors that Nightwing was going to be in there as well. Or not Nightwing because Dick Grayson died, but another Robin was supposed to be in there. But for sure, it was supposed to be similar to the Arkham game, the Arkham Batman game, Arkham City. That's what it's called. And I think it was pulling a lot of inspiration from that game into Ben Affleck's Batman. In like retrospect, things kind of worked out because like Ben Affleck didn't want to play Batman anymore. Like with this whole experience with Justice League, that would just mean like he's locked in with playing Batman for a couple more years, even after his version of Batman would have came out. And so like things worked out for Ben Affleck as well in the end, because like he's able to give his character a send off in the Flash movie, and someone else, and like we're still like the fans are still eating. We're still eating good because we get this other great take that is outside of what DCU's kind of building, and Matt Reeves able to play in the sandbox and really just give us anything that he wants. And everything that he's been giving us is amazing. It's authentic. It's grounded. And we've also dodged a bullet, right? We dodged a bullet. For those that don't know, Jeff Johns was co-writing the Batman movie with Ben Affleck. And so there could have been a possibility that movie would have been trash, right? No matter how much we liked it, no matter how awesome like the ideas were coming out in the media, it could have been trash. The writing could have been terrible, but it also could have been amazing, right? Who knows? But still, Ben Affleck wanted out. He had his mindset. If Matt Reeves took on the job and directed Ben Affleck, I'm sure he would have taken it. He would have taken it for sure. But I think looking back, I feel like, after seeing multiple interviews with Ben Affleck, it really sounds like he's in a better place. And I'm happy for the guy. Like I don't want an actor playing a character in the comic book world, in the comic book movies, and just hating their job. Right? I want someone who actually wants to be there. And that's exactly what Ben Affleck wanted, and that's why he gave up the project, because his heart wasn't in making the Batman anymore. He wanted someone to take on the project who actually wanted to do it. And so he found Matt Reeves, and Matt Reeves gave WB his pitch, and they loved it. And you could just tell by all the trailers, by all the footage that we've seen so far, that Matt Reeves really loved this character, and he wants to take it he wants to take this to another level, taking a different path that we've never seen before. And I think it's super exciting. Like there's so much inspiration behind Matt Reeves' Batman movie. Like it's taking inspiration from Seven, so much inspiration from Seven, so much inspiration from the comic books, so much inspiration from other movies such as like Chinatown, The French Connection, Taxi Drive, even Nirvana. This dude's taking inspiration from music as well, which is insane to hear that, right? And yes, Ben Affleck's movie would have taken inspiration from Arkham City, the game. And it would have been cool because we would have seen Batman go up against Deathstroke, and that would have been an awesome fight scene, no doubt about it. But the fact that we're getting this version of Matt Reeves' Batman, I honestly I want to see his more than like I want to see this now, because we've seen action-y Batman, we've seen Batman in action, we've seen him fight, and I want to see a detective version of Batman. I think that's what draws me to Batman the most as a Batman fan, is him being a detective. Like that's cool, like he fights and all, but that's not why I like him. Like other superheroes can fight. It's him actually do crime solving and doing all the detective work and putting the pieces together. That's what really draws me as a fan, as a Batman fan. And I really feel like Matt Reeves is nailing this. And I feel like in retrospect, again, it worked out for everyone. Ben Affleck's doing other movies. He's super, like, he's not an alcoholic anymore. He's super content with his life, and he has a relationship with his ex-wife, and he's doing all these other movies now, and the right person directing the Batman has the job, and that's all that matters to me. And would I want to see Ben Affleck's version of the Batman? Yeah, of course. I would love to. I would die for one. I would love to, having both would be awesome. I think it would have been great if it even went to HBO Max. I think that would have been a perfect route. But the fact that, it's not going that way, I'm not gonna like sign a petition and force an actor to be in a movie that he doesn't want to be in. I'm not gonna do that, and that's totally that's okay with me. I don't know how you guys feel, but like I'm totally fine with that. Would I have loved a more well-rounded DCEU? Yeah, that would have been that. It would be cool. But again, to be honest, I love the artsy stuff. I love the fact that I keep repeating this, but I love the fact I love what Matt Reeves is building right now. So that's all I'm gonna say. Kind of done ranting. So that's gonna be it for today's video. What do you guys think about Matt Reeves' comments on Ben Affleck's Batman? Would you guys have rather want to see Ben Affleck's version, or are you guys fine with Matt Reeves' version? Let me know in the comments below. Like this video, subscribe to our channel, and I'll see you guys again. Bye.